How you doing, darling? How you doing? We're just doing a little bit of interview. Dan, he just got married 2 days ago.
Yeah, nice to meet
And he
you.
met his bride at our tour in Sacramento last time.
Yeah.
We
got married already. That's
we set up the whole wedding right there in this in Sacramento. Here we have makeup artists, we have hairstylists.
You know what?
My brother certified. He got them married, so we can get it done right here.
Yeah. I think we have to rank.
Girls are almost ready as well. Just pick one. It's like she's the one. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So you've been married for 2 days now.
Yeah, it's 2 days of happiness, right?
2 days of happiness. Okay, how does it feel to be a married man?
It feels great. It feels great. It's nice to have this back on, right? Feels really good.
It looks really good, yeah.
Thank you. And you know what? It feels good to have it on with this woman because she's really not like anything else, right?
Yeah.
It's really quite an experience.
So you met her
in Sacramento at your tour. You finally convinced me after years of going abroad to kind of take my chances.
11 trips to Ukraine, and every time I was calling you, Dan, come on, you gotta come here and meet these girls. And
That's
you're
right.
like, I'm in Ukraine. So 11 finally convinced you, and finally you joined us.
Finally, yeah. When I met you, we talked online, right? And we've been on Skype a little bit. And when I finally, you agreed, just by coincidence, we live in the same city, right? We go to the same church, right? And gym, right? Although we never ran into each other, but we spoke, and you finally persuaded me to meet with you for a few minutes. I even brought my son with me, and within 5 minutes of talking to you, really within a minute, I decided to give it a shot.
All right.
Because you come across exactly what you really turn out to be, is very sincere and genuine. That you're really here not only as a business, but to really connect people and really help them. And really, I find these same qualities in my now new bride, right? She seems to have this same desire and ability. So
this is our second part of this whole thing, because we had the tour in Sacramento.
Right.
Now we're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You had a chance to interact with this whole group of girls that we have here.
Sure.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think they're outstanding. I really do. I mean, I think the main point that stands out to me about these ladies is, and as contrasted with ladies that you might go overseas and meet, right? Which I did. I had good experiences when I traveled, but nobody really hit me like, I've got to marry this woman, right? So for me, a lot of guys have a really bad experience. I had kind of a mixed, mostly good. But here you find women that are like, they're going out of their way, right? They're enlisting in a program. They're paying to be part of this. They're paying for their way over here because they're committed and determined, just as the men are, to really find somebody else in their life and put their life together with another person.
So everyone is professional, beautiful, speaks English. Many of them do speak really great English.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they want.
Right.
They're like ready.
Yeah, they're ready.
Like ripe peach.
Yeah.
I'm ready to give love.
They're ready
I'm ready
to go.
to receive love.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're here.
Yeah.
Any advice to the guys who might be coming for this type of introductions? Like we are waiting for the first group to arrive today.
Well, I think I've had the opportunity now through 2 of these, right, to really get to talk to the guys that are involved. And I mean, I can relate to these guys. They're in, some of them in the same business I'm in. Some, we have similar experiences, parallel experiences going overseas. I think the number one thing that really strikes me, that even though these men, a lot of them are very accomplished, very successful men, they really seem to lack confidence in this arena, right? When it comes to me, and it's difficult because if you don't have experience meeting a woman from Eastern Europe, it can be daunting, right? It can be a little intimidating because they are so beautiful and their character is so different, right? So feminine and striking. Difference between what you might find in America. So for me, I think the number one thing they seem to lack is confidence. When I speak to them after the fact, and we talk, they of course, Sabina and I met, and we just fell in love immediately. It was just love at first sight. It was at the party, which was just absolute blast. I mean, you really put on a great show and a great party there. She was the third woman to sit down at the speed dating, and that was the end for me, right? So I just wasn't going to let her go, and never did, right, from that point on. And I think that I tried to kind of explain that to the men. They asked me, how'd you do it? right? How'd you get Sabina, right?
Confidence is the key. Yeah?
It's confidence, and it's you got to make up your mind and just say, this woman, right? This is what I want to pursue, and this is who I'm interested in, and I think that's important.
How do you think, in your opinion, a man who didn't have the experience like you had, who didn't go 11 times to Ukraine,
Right?
Who didn't have lots of dating with Russian women, how do you think they will be able to get that confidence?
I think it's difficult. I think they're going to need. I think it's probably essential that they enlist in, one of your programs that allows
coaching.
The coaching, right? Absolutely. I think it's essential.
And practicing with the real women.
With the real women, right?
Yeah.
So they come a few times, and sometimes, I've noticed in these 2 tours that some of the women repeat, right? So you have an opportunity to, especially if you have an open communication through some of your matchmakers or yourself, then you have opportunity to meet multiple times in a couple of tours, and of course the second or third time you're going to be more and more comfortable. You begin to really have a personal relationship established, and I think this is really an essential, because meeting for the first time, I can remember when I went to Ukraine for the first time. It was online, which is typical, right? It was on a typical site that, probably 15% of the ladies on that site were genuinely looking for somebody. And, I met somebody, we had a nice conversation over time, and finally I got on an airplane and went to meet her, and, we just didn't hit it off. But it was very intimidating to meet her. She was gorgeous, and, she was everything that, we'd expect from an Eastern European. And so for me, it took quite a few trips and quite a few experiences to really relax into that, into that mode, right? So I can imagine the typical American man that has to deal with, I'd say the typical American woman. It's really daunting to meet somebody that's so culturally removed from that. Not to say I'm not putting American women down, but as we know, it's just a different culture and a different mindset. Yeah.
One of the great advices, if you want to make it really quick switch, is the saying from Mary Kay Ash. She said, "Fake it until you make it."
That's right.
Confidence is one of the things, fake it, and you will feel comfortable, and you will be.
It's always been my philosophy in life too, right?